Lovely. So I was talking about the Prisma chart 2020 checklist. Yeah. So this is what a checklist looks like. Right. So it's a very important tool. It guides you on what have I done, what do I still need to do. All the things I've talked about, introduction, methods, results, discussion, you've got them very well outlined here. Yeah. So again, this is the checklist you must mention that, oh, you follow the 2020 checklist. So using these discussions today, when you go to review a manuscript, it would help guide you. In fact, we'll open a manuscript and would go through it and see how those statements were actually sort of made. But before we do that, let's look at something else. And what I want us to look at is good. Can you see my screen, guys? Yeah?
Yes.
Yeah.
Good. Let's talk about when you want to collaborate with multinational, researchers. You've got people from, from different continents, and you guys have to write, because most of my systematic reviews have been done with people I've never met before. And we've done multiple papers together. So it's Google Doc is a very good tool to pull all those information together where everyone could actually write on the same manuscript easily, right? So you start off with the title. Let us assume that the title we want to use is let's call title. Yeah. So when I say about Google Doc, you could, use the templates, title, Hansfield units, threshold for predicting cage subsidence in lumbar fusion, systematic review, and meta-analysis. Good. So that's the title, right? And what I tend to do is this. So I tend to then write out so using heading 1, abstract. So just more of a schema of what the paper would look like. Introduction. And go on to methods. And go on to results. Discussion. You talk about your conclusion. And then you talk about your references. Good. So in this way, you've itemized the schema of your paper. Remember, I write abstract last, so I don't come in here. I come to methodology. Under methodology, I could then go on to include the subsection. So let's say heading 2, because it's heading 1, something smaller. So another method, you could then talk about things like eligibility criteria, you could even just, and then 2 seconds. So search strategy, study selection, data extraction, risk of bias, assessment, data analysis. So the good thing about all this is it then gives you the subsections within your methods. So you could tell FA, please write on the eligibility criteria. Yasser, work on the search strategy. Negin, work on study selection. Does it make sense? So everyone knows the subsection they're going to write. And you share this with your co-authors. And the nice thing about this is, so for example, just for this as an example, let's say you've written something and you want to put a reference. I just put ref, or if it's probably by Yasser et al., you do Yasser et al., and then you highlight Yasser et al. So let's assume that, highlight it and you include a comment. So in plus comment, and you put the link or the reference here. So that's the reference, yeah. And you comment. So the good thing about this is everyone is writing, right? And then we know what the reference is. So it's all well organized. And you can see under your, because you've categorized this properly, you can see your section, your subsections are well highlighted on the left-hand column. And that's how you go on with your methods, excuse me, your results, your discussion, conclusion. So no matter where your co-authors are in the world, you guys could easily link up and write up a manuscript without needing to see yourself. And then you could, as the host, edit things, or it all depends on how you want to play it, because you could potentially, those who you shared it with, you could either decide that anyone with the link would be a viewer, so they can't do any editing, or they can comment, so they can delete and add, or they can edit. So the edit is they can delete or add. Comment is, what if they want to do any suggestion, they will have to add it as a suggestion or a comment, basically. Yeah, it all depends on how you want to play. But this is how you sort of tend to sort of, should I say, collaborate with international authors. So if that's it already, I've stopped sharing briefly, and I'm just going to show you something. All makes sense? Any questions?
Sounds good.
Let's see. Okay, let's talk about this. Let's do this one. So this is yeah, can you see my screen, guys? Yep. Very good. So this is a paper that was just published a few days ago in the Foot and Ankle Journal. So this is one of the systematic reviews, and you can see the abstract. So you can see the outline just the way I've shown you earlier. You can see your introduction containing your clinical information about clinical information, what we know, what we don't know, and the reason why you've done it. So clearly I've said the systematic review and meta-analysis aims to address this gap. And what's the gap? I'm going to have to tell them what the gaps were previously. The method, study design, and just like I was talking about negging, so this study was conducted as a systematic review and meta-analysis in compliance with the preferred reporting items for systematic review and meta-analysis as PRISMA statements. The protocol was prospectively registered and available in Prospero, right? So that's it. Your data sources and search strategy, your eligibility criteria, your exclusion criteria, your study selection, your data extraction, risk of bias, statistical analysis. You can see how it's all systematic. Under your results, you're not talking about what you've done in method, study selection, your study and patient characteristics. You then talk about your Prisma chart, that's where it comes in, your table of summary of included studies or the baseline characteristics. So this is the baseline characteristics, and this is the baseline characteristics of the included studies. You just a snapshot of, the papers you've included on the left-hand side and what's it entails. This is a graph, or this is one of the, because we did a randomized control trial, we used randomized control trials in this paper. This is how you represent your ROB2 risk of bias assessments. And then you go on to talk about your primary outcomes. That's the main findings, like we've talked about. You can see a bit of a Prisma, forest plots there. And then further tables, then discussion. Now, this is not part of discussion. This is only here because of the, positioning of the table. It's not, the discussion is different. It doesn't have this, but sometimes you'd have, because of the placements of the tables, you can just move around. But yeah, that's it. And you talk about your conclusion. Yeah. And you can see cautious statements. This review shows that any weight bearing, because we used a randomized control trial, they were high quality data. So we can confidently state our conclusions. We've said this review shows that any weight bearing after ankle fracture surgery can speed up recovery and return to work in the first 3 months with comparable complication rates and no long-term functional difference. These findings support earlier protected mobilization, right? And then we went on to say that inappropriately selected lower risk patients and underscores the need for broader RCTs, including patients with syndromic mutation, blah, blah, blah. So we've gone ahead to actually then mention that what future researchers should focus on. So yeah, that's it. This is your schema, and then you talk about your references at the end. Yeah, and that's it really. Does it all make sense, guys? Any questions? Lovely. So I really do hope that this few sessions we've had has broadened your understanding of systematic review and empowered you better to, carry out one by yourself, pull a team together to actually, design one. We're here to help you, and you're part of a group where I'll tell you my research journey started way back in 2020 when I got involved in systematic reviews. And I was just at the point where you guys were now, where what I did was, the one data extraction, I helped with data extraction, manuscript writing, all the little pieces, then building those little pieces here and there made you form that whole. And then now you're confident to actually go take on a study, digest it, give it your best. So I do wish you guys the best. Feel free to reach out anytime. If you have any question, hit me up. And thanks for sticking with us this long. Yeah.
Thank you very much. It's been very helpful.
Welcome. All right then. You're welcome.
Thank you so much.
Take care, guys, and have a